Yo, it's Fredo Saga. Live your own truth, you create your own saga. So, manipulating yourself into success. We've all experienced either the good of it or the bad of it. Some people are going to be against this. Some people are actually going to like this, right? Maybe this is something that you should start doing. Maybe you haven't been that self-oriented. Maybe you've been someone who's seeking validation from other people. Maybe you haven't even accepted yourself into who you are. So that's why when you try to do things that, you want to start changing, it feels uncomfortable, right? It feels uncomfortable being in that space. But the reason why a lot of people stay successful is because they never doubt themselves, right? They are never wrong. Everything they do is right. Everything they do is purely out of love, purely out of intention, out of confidence, right? And that is someone who doesn't give a fuck about what anybody thinks of them. They manipulate themselves, they program themselves, they have a systematic way of them working themselves up without nobody taking up the fucking lever, nobody taking up that switch, turn it off, right? And this is exactly why a lot of people tend to shift themselves into a much more, self-oriented way, kind of like much selfish, more of themselves than what they think or what they can do for other people, right? A lot of things have contributed into manipulative. A lot of people have horrible perspectives against manipulation because they either gone through it in a negative way or a positive way. But what's more important is that however you see it, however you think you see it, right? It's all because of you, right? It's all being because of you, right? It doesn't matter who has told you, right? It doesn't matter what you've heard. In a way, you have manipulated yourself into believing that, right? And it doesn't matter where you've heard it. As long as you believe that, that will only be true, right? At the end of the day, our job here is to make sure we manipulate ourselves into success, right? Using this information is for you to start shifting into who you actually want to be. Instead of manipulating yourself out of your way, out of the alignment of not being successful, right? Instead of you taking yourself out the journey of being successful, now you can start contributing to yourself and you can fill yourself with much more better ideas and a better combination of you knowing who you truly are and being who you truly are, right? And this is exactly why I drew a circle of a human, because you need to surround yourself into things that actually matter, which is something successful. And we can never go down. The fact that a lot of successful people do not give a fuck about failure because they do not accept it. They never see themselves as a wrong person. They never see themselves as a failure. What is the opposite of successful? That, right? So they would manipulate themselves no matter what. They will gaslight themselves into thinking they are successful, and this is why they move much more different. This is why a lot of people tend to say, a lot of successful people are weird because they don't really listen to people. They don't really try to fit in the circle. They just do whatever the fuck they want. They just care about themselves. And this is how 1%, this is how the 1% moves so fucking silently and so, so clearly, that it makes them efficient. It makes them disciplined of themselves, right? By showing who they really are and embracing that big expression, right? And number one, starting off with that, right, is the discipline, positive, and negativity. Being disciplined on being positive instead of you being disciplined on being negative. Be honest. Every time that you're negative, what kind of service do you receive back, right? Nothing. We don't tend to receive any type of favors, any type of benefits of us going against each other, right? Or against yourselves, actually. Against each other, against yourselves. But when you're disciplined about being positive, right, you're becoming this person who is just shifting into positivity. You don't even give a fuck about what happened yesterday, about that setback. You don't even care about what happened, about that failure that you did a while ago, right? That shit does not matter because it doesn't contribute into who you are. You're starting to manipulate your own brain into only be focusing into the positive. And that's how people are so fucking confident. That's how much more athletes, right? They don't care about missing a shot. They don't care about getting the ball stolen away because they remember who they are. They know who they are and they know they can do better. They know who they are. They will never be ass. They never think to themselves they ass. They could have the most trashiest game ever, but they have manipulated themselves early ahead, bro. They already manipulated themselves into thinking either they're the best player in their team, the best player in the world, or whatever it is. It's crazy. It's crazy. And this is fundamental. This is like a foundation where, you know, this is something that could actually, invest on yourself, right? This is something that could service you, because at the end of the day, you're not going downwards. You're just going upwards at this point. You're just going upwards. Maybe a lot of people will start recognizing it, right? A lot of people will start seeing you like, damn, like this guy, like he's not, he's really greedy on himself, right? He's really self-oriented, but that's what you need to do. That is what how 1% moves, right? It doesn't matter how bad you don't fit in. It doesn't matter how you don't, how you don't relate to other people. You're basically your own self-identity. And no matter what, you will keep moving that way, because that is the way how you can spark up yourself. And that is the way that you can express yourself into being successful, right? And this only works into, having a foundation of you knowing who you want to be, knowing who you are, knowing the purpose of the actions that you do behind doors, right? If you're a person that wants to start a business, right, and a lot of people are telling you not to do it, don't do it, don't do it, like that shit does not matter to you, because it doesn't contribute to who you are. You already see yourself as a successful businessman, then what is the point of listening to them? You know what I mean? So it's kind of like an egotistical thing, but at the end of the day, it's something that's much more positive, right? It's something that's much more, more striving for greatness in a way, right? Moving forward, right? Be your own self system, right? You have to be your own system instead of you being someone else's system. The fact that a lot of people, right, they don't even move how they want to move. They don't even take action in the way they want to take action, right? They shouldn't have, they kind of wait like it's like a chess type of like timing. They wait for their opportunity outside the world instead of them giving themselves inside their own world, right? And this is exactly why you need to establish yourself right here, and why manipulating yourself into success is much more contributing for this concept, because reality doesn't change when you want to receive something from the outside, from the external. It all changes internally, right? And so when other people are telling you, yo, keep doing this, or not really that, when other people are telling you to, beliefs that don't even service your own purpose, it's like chasing for something that is not even true, right? You won't even agree on, right? You probably heard that working so hard, if you work so hard, if you wake up every morning, if you do this, if you do that, you'll be so successful. That is not true. You don't have to do that. That is just a theory. That is just a myth, right? If you want to believe that, then surely that will be your reality, right? That will be something that you can contribute, right? But that is something that you have to come to awareness of yourself. And that is not a system that you have created within you. Creating your own system is something that you started investing on yourself, right? It's something that you build yourself, No, I don't believe that me waking up in the morning, me working hard is, or doing all this random stuff in the morning could make me successful. What makes me successful is my own self-preferences and the way that I think and the way that I move. So you create your own system. And as much and as long you believe on that, you will take really, really purified intention into everything that you do regarding that routine, regarding that, schedule that you have built within yourself, right? If you believe that not working hard, doesn't get you rich, right? Or working the less but being efficient gets you richer, then that will be your belief. That will be your reality. It's just something that prefers in your own self capabilities, or however you want to move it, right? You are the one, right? I'm just giving them my examples. You can do whatever you want with your own beliefs. As long as you believe them true, as long as you are convinced 100%, that will be yours, right? So this is actually why you need to be, creating your own system. Do not have a system outside of yourself, because at the end of the day, if you don't even agree with it, if you believe deep inside that's not true, then why the fuck are you doing it? Why? It doesn't make sense, right? It doesn't make sense. So shift your lower emotions into better emotions. When people are feeling sad, right, they don't follow their plan. You're not supposed to follow your emotions, follow your plan. And this is a good fucking example. A lot of people tend to be stressful about external shit, about materialistic shit, about people, right? And it affects their plan, and it affects who they are, it affects who what they want to create, right? They can't fully express themselves because they're thinking about external shit that really, really doesn't service you at all. Trust me, some shit you can prioritize. Don't get me wrong. It's not like I'm saying that you shouldn't be caring about anything, but as long as it's not servicing you, why do you keep putting attention into it? It doesn't make sense. Why would you keep putting attention into things that do not service who you are, right? Do you know what I'm saying? Why would you put attention into things that do not even service you at all? Do not even care about you, that does not even, invest in you backwards. It doesn't make sense, right? So when you start shifting and you really start prioritizing the right things, you will start moving differently. You will start realizing that there's a bigger picture here, right? And no matter what's going on in the outside, no matter what's going on, what's life throwing at me, no matter how they feel about me, no matter how, how many people are losing because the way I'm thinking, the way I want to decide to move on in my life, that shit does not matter, right? Because you're already giving it to yourself already, right? Give it to yourself so you can be good with it or without it. Give it to yourself so you can be good with it or without it, right? So moving on forward, right? Number 4, if this isn't a mystery. You already know what you want to do. You already know who you want to become. And if you don't know, then simply it's okay, right? If you don't know, it simply is okay. But this is for the people who already have planned out what they want to do, but they're simply not following their own, plan. They're simply not following who they are because of lack of discipline, lack of self-respect, lack of, confidence, or a lack of them rewiring their brain because they don't see themselves at the position they want to be, right? It could all come to different sort of problems, but the only problem that could be finding to a solution is your own way to find yourself into success. Once you find yourself once you look at yourself and once you find that way into success, right? And you start reminding yourself into who you are, right? You will clearly notice that most of the shit that, you don't know, you already been knowing, and once you start working towards it, you will start receiving it. Once you start working towards it, you will start receiving. And it's not about asking more questions. It's not about you trying to find the knowledge. It's about you doing more, right? The reason why you don't have the answers yet is because you're not even putting yourself in the position. So even if you find the answers, you probably will be still confused because you're not even having that experience. You're not even being relatable to it, right? I'm not here to tell you, right, that if you want to find a question to not fail or to not lose or to not make a big mistake, that doesn't matter because once you're a moving on forward, respond in your own way. Once you start moving in the way that you want, you start reacting, you start responding in a truthful way on how you want to decide things, right? You kind of become like a leader of yourself. Instead of your mind becoming its own leader, you become your own leader, right? You know what you want. You know how to respond back. You know how to react, right? And you know how to exactly to move specifically in that situation. And the way that this is kind of like just keep going back and forward into yourself, right? Because this is about you. This is not about nobody else. This is not about something else. This is not something about the past. This is not something about the future. It's something that you want to do. It's something that you truly want. And the way that you keep moving forward is the way that you realize, right, that it's just a full expression of yourself. This whole time, it's just been yourself. You've been paying attention into things that don't even fucking matter. Do not service you at all. And I'm gonna keep saying that over and over because at the end of the day, it is true. It is true, right? It is purely true. So number 6, right? Just like I was explaining, it's always about you. No matter what, it will always be about you, right? And this is and reason why a lot of people are watching this video because they don't know if it's their circumstances. They don't know if there's their mindset, their mentality. They don't know if it's their parents. They don't know if it's their friends. They don't know who they is. It's all about you, bro. It's all about you. So, like I said, manipulate yourself into success. Create a self boundary. Only thinking about success. Do not pour any water into negativity. Once you start doing that, you're disrespecting yourself, right? You're putting yourself lower than who you truly are, and you're not finding yourself in a better way, right? Discipline positivity instead of discipline negativity. Take out negativity. Be disciplined and positivity. Even if shit's going wrong, be disciplined and positivity, okay? And be your self system. Do not be someone outside the box. Be someone inside the box. Even if shit is not in reality right now, even if shit is not looking right here in the eyes, right here, everything physically does not fucking matter because you're already giving yourself everything inside. And that's how you fucking move, bro. Yeah, that's how you fucking move clearly and visible. Because at the end of the day, right, our 3D world is not what it seems. This is just a conscious manipulation of, experience. That's all it is. It's all right here, bro. It's all right here. And once you start once you start building this inside, right? Once you be like, man, I know this happened, but I'm still blessed. I'm still alive. You know what I mean? And you just fucking shifted everything from a fucking negative circumstance to now a positive circumstance. Bro, you're fucking powerful, bro. Like, you just basically ran through something that didn't go right in the world. You just basically made it something back towards you in a blessed fucking way. You get me? Don't move what you see in front of your eyes. Move what you're giving yourself inside, right? And shifting your lower emotions, same fucking thing. Instead of being sad, instead of stressing, now you're really appreciating who you are. Now you're really realizing the heart and work ethic and the effort you put in, right? And receiving and actually seeing the small details. Damn, I actually did that, bro. I actually did that. I'm fucking proud of myself. You know what I mean? And then number 4, it isn't always a mystery. We all know what we want to do, then fucking do it, right? Manipulate yourself that you've already been successful into it, right? And that is a way of you truly moving into the position and location of who you are, right? You think you're not confident enough to do that? Bro, you see yourself as confident. Manipulate yourself as a confident person. It's not lying to yourself because it's not you doing it without intention. It is behind intention. It is behind a good cause. I want to do this. I want to be confident looking this, even if, I don't look as confident at all. That is a fucking lie because I am fucking confident I'm doing this for real, right? And then number 5, respond in your own way. Respond in your own heart. Respond in your own passions. Respond in your own self-love. And 6, it's always been about you. So, it's always been about you. Always.